Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube Dragon Ball Daima review. Today, we are talking about episode 5, titled Panzy. I'm joined by my Z Fighter in arms, Major Rage. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Excited to talk about this episode.
Yeah. So, this episode, overall thoughts, Mage. What do you think about this episode overall?
Serviceable episode, moving the plot along. Got introduced to one of our characters that we knew was coming thanks to promotional materials and intro credits and all that good stuff. I had been afraid that she was going to be annoying, kind of Pan and GT style, but so far, so good. So far, so good, I would say.
Yeah, we definitely got introduced to our Donatello, aka Sid, of in our realm of characters. She's good with machines, is what she says. So we also find out that she's a princess. So so she is directly involved in the plot now, which sure, okay. Definitely I would call this a serviceable episode. It is definitely the next stop in our grand adventure, which again is fine. It's serviceable. It is very reminiscent of the original Dragon Ball season with Garlic Jr., like just Goku and Bulma just kind of moseying through and picking up characters along the way, like Oolong and then eventually Yamcha and Puar. And so, yeah, just very serviceable episodes, very, meeting the new cast members along the way per episode. So now we've really got our we've kind of got our party, at least for the most part for now. I know that we've got some additional people coming, but we have our party. So so just kind of a little bit of the rundown is, Pansy's introduced herself and they kind of keep journeying. Of course, uh Glorio is like, we got to go. And no, you can't come with us because you're a little girl. And, blah, 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 blah. And she's, of course, being the little girl that's going to be like, hey, I'm going no matter what. Huh? I honestly thought that she might have been the princess when she was kind of being like that. Like, oh, I'm going. And I'm like, oh, she sounds like a princess. Like Princess Nina from Breath of Fire 3. I'm going. So, yeah. So we get a quite of a little bit of a humorous exchange in the early goings where she obviously Panzy identifies Goku as having round ears and finding that odd and saying that what's your magic power? Every Majin has a magic power, and Goku goes to touch his nose with his tongue, which is a technique I did not know he had. And he finally has a technique over on Krillin that Krillin cannot do because Krillin has no nose.
It's canon.
It is canon. That's correct. And I mean, like kind of like the journey, like in between, the beginning of the episode to the castle. There's really just kind of dialogue drop and exposition, a little bit of the third demon role. What anything to add to all that? I mean, again, these exposition dumps are now getting a little bit ridiculous. As I said, I was okay with it in the first couple episodes, but like now we're kind of in the realm of, okay, we get it. Like, show us more.
Yeah, I would definitely appreciate it to be more show and less tell. I did find the kind of the gag funny with Goku trying to touch his nose with his tongue. That was amusing.
I think it would have been more interesting if he did something with Ki, because apparently they don't understand Ki. I
Yeah.
don't think we've ever seen Ki blast from anyone, have we? Like we've seen like laser blasts, but we've not seen any Ki blast from like Glorio or anything. So honestly, Goku just could have been like did like a Ki ball or something like that. And maybe he can't, because I don't think Goku's done a Ki ball or a Ki thing either. So maybe he can't yet, which we'll get to later on in the episode, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like if he just like made like a Ki wisp or something like that, like I think that would have been good enough. But
So,
classic Toriyama to go with the gag rather than the rational. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So we make it all. We keep journeying. We keep getting exposition, and we make it to the castle, which is a beautiful glory shot. Not gonna lie, nice looking castle, kind of something out of. I was trying to figure out where that castle seems like it would have been out of, and it actually seems a lot like Saiyan architecture a little bit, like the castle. Um, but just again with the great imagery we've had so far in this show, and plus the animations on point. I mean, I really feel like that they've kind of knocked it out of the park with all of that. Anything stick with you with their journey to the castle?
Nothing that really sticks out in my mind. The It really picks up when they get to the castle.
Yeah. So we take a quick break and we go to Goma, where we have some kind of nurse aide lady reading nursery rhymes to Dende. And apparently Goma is taking pretty good care of Dende, but that's only because he wants Dende to grow up and make him Dragon Balls.
The plot thickens.
So this begs the question, will Dende remember that Goma is the one who turned him into a baby, or do they just plan on forcing him to do it? Like at knife point. But yes, I actually did not think about that, and when Goma said that, I said, not a bad idea. Instead of having to get the 3 Dragon Balls of the Demon Realm that are protected by the super powerful Tamagotchis or whatever the Tamagotchis or whatever they're called, we now have, he's going to now use Dende. So maybe there was an ulterior motive for them taking Dende, not just to inert the Dragon Balls on Earth.
Yeah, it seems that Goma had more of a plan than he initially seemed to have.
Which is good. I don't want Goma to be an idiot. Like, I don't mind Goma being, like, I don't want him to be like Pilaf. Did I say Garlic Jr. before? I think I said Garlic
You
Jr.
did.
before.
We
I
knew
meant
who you
Pilaf.
meant.
Okay, I'm post self-correcting myself from a while ago, and I just realized it. But I don't want him to be Pilaf. I don't want him to be like the idiot. I want him to be like this conniving, super smart guy. Like, you can throw some comedy in there, but I don't want him to be a buffoon like Pilaf. So yeah, so we get to the castle. We find out that Panzy is, of course, the princess, which to me wasn't a surprise, but whatevs. And then we get to see a bit of the 3rd Demon Realm King's estate. And, he's got, of course, troops training and everything like that. And that'll come into play in a little bit. And we finally get to see the 3rd Demon Realm King. What are your thoughts on this guy here? Does he remind you of the Ox King or not? Because he kind of reminds me of the Ox King when Goku first met him. And I know I'm doing Dragon Ball comparisons at this point, but it's Dragon Ball. You can,
You kind of have to. This follows the original Dragon Ball formula so closely that the Ox King comparison is almost inescapable, I would say. He even is presented in a menacing way to begin with the playing golf with the skulls and everything. But then when it comes to his daughter, he's super softy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not actually that bad of a guy at the core. He, according to Panzy, he only robs from criminals and kind of has a Robin Hood thing going on. So I think the Ox King comparison is completely valid.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got those vibes here. It's like if Chi-Chi joined the party and actually went with them in Dragon Ball at this point, like, which with Chi-Chi, I'm glad she didn't, because original Chi-Chi was kind of a bit much. If you had Chi-Chi and Bulma in the same party, I think it would have been kind of crazy. So the king enters. The king says, oh, you've brought me people to beat Majin Buu, which is kind of weird because it sounds like Glorio approached the king about going to get he went to the king to go get people that could beat the people strong enough who could beat Majin Buu and beat Goma. It's not like he originally said, where the third Demon Realm King asked him to go and get them.
And becoming more and more sus of Glorio.
Mm-hmm.
Goku, of course, thinks it's no big deal. I think it's no big deal, because if they were really going to have him do something, a real double cross, they wouldn't be calling it to our attention as much, I think.
Well, and I also think that, I mean, because the third Demon Realm King also said, he said, haha, well, when you defeat Goma, I'm going to take over as a supreme ruler of the Demon Realm. So everybody, and I mean, I think this was released before in like a description or something, is that everybody's going to be vying for King Deborah's seat. Currently, Goma is the one who is supposed to, is the Demon King elect, but everybody is vying for that throne now, because they don't think they think A, Goma's too brutal, and B, Goma is, not good enough to be king. So yeah, so I don't, what do you think Glorio's motives are? Do you think that he's like, he was wronged as a child, and now he's trying to take over the demon realm to like rule it better? Or do you think he's like someone who thinks he can, or he's like going to rule it with an iron fist? Like, basically, do you think he's going to turn out to be an okay guy, or do you think he's going to turn out to be the bad guy?
I think he's going to turn out to be okay. I think he's a red herring right now for a secret bad.
I mean, I agree. I think he's probably the red herring. They're not going to let us spend this much time with somebody and not, but I mean, it would be great storytelling. And I've said before, Toriyama is a gag writer, a gag manga writer. He's a discovery writer. I don't think Toriyama really has it in him to make that great of a twist where like where Glorio then becomes, he wouldn't commit to make Glorio the main bad. I don't think he would, at least. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and that's fine. I don't see it happening. I feel like, yeah, Glorio is going to be like, when Goma is finally defeated, everyone's going to be vying for that spot. Glorio will be one of those that's probably like going to double cross the team to get the Demon Realm chair, but then he's ultimately either going to give it up or realize that the way that he wants to do things is not the right way. You know what I mean? Like that's how I see this going.
That's a valid way of thinking about it going down. I can see what would lead you to believe those things are going to be the outcome.
Yeah, but if Glorio does turn out just to be the main bad and he's just like super bad, then yeah, that's actually a really good twist. And even though we saw it coming, good twists don't have to be like, good twists don't have to not be seen. In my opinion, they don't have to, because with the probabilities, like with the internet, everybody thinks of everything. Like there's no one out there who hasn't thought of an outcome that could be happening in anything. And with the way the internet works, we would know. Like it's all over the internet. So I think a good twist is just a well-written twist at this point, not just, oh, I didn't see that coming. Like it's kind of hard to keep the, keep the I want to say the player, but keep the watcher, the viewer guessing. So anyway, so we have a conversation with the king. They're talking about going to are going to fight the Tamagotchi of the, and I know that's probably wrong, but I don't know what they're called.
The Tamagamis.
Tamagamis. Okay. They're talking about going to the Tamagami of the third demon realm, and they need a plane. But first, the king wants proof that they are as powerful as they say. And we get our action sequence this weekend. Holy crap, was it a good action sequence?
Oh yeah.
Would you say it's the best so far this season?
Absolutely. Best action sequence so far this season. I mean, Goku was so cocky about it, he even set down the power pole.
I know,
He's like,
right?
he's just like, come at me, just no guns, anything but guns, and let's go.
Yeah,
And
he told everybody not to. He even said, he said, don't, no killing, and he's like, nah, just try to kill me. It's okay, I can handle it.
good training.
Yeah, well, it is. It's good training. So yeah, so we get one of the most awesome sequences I think in Daima so far. And Goku does, I'm going to call it full Super Saiyan. He does go Super Saiyan for a second, but then even so, he kind of goes back to base with kind of like the golden glow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we'll call it false Super Saiyan, like from Lord Slug at this point, I would say, like along those
Yeah.
lines. Um, it's kind of a weird angle to go about it, but I guess again, if Goku is still trying to figure out ki in this demon realm, then I guess that makes sense. There wasn't much of an explanation, and I, I'm I'm 50-50 on it. One, I'm okay with it. I'm like, okay, we don't need everything explained to us. I just said earlier in this review, I don't want to be like, I want them to do more show, not tell. But the other thing is like they've given us no real reason as to why Goku has not used ki at all, besides the fact that they don't know what it is. But they've never really specifically said the ki in this realm is different even once. So why is he not using ki?
I think it's just because he hasn't needed it yet. And
You think so?
in this instance, he just went Super Saiyan just long enough to free himself from their grasp, get off me, and powered back down because he doesn't need Super Saiyan to show off to this king of the third demon realm either.
I don't know. I mean, but he still had that gold aura around, like that little thin gold aura around him when he was fighting still. So I trust me, I noticed that. I was like, I'm like, so that's why I call it full Super Saiyan is because he was still using some kind of ki according to the animators. As I said, I take the animators at their word that there's something going on there, because of that gold aura. I don't think that was there by mistake. So until it's proven to be a mistake. So anyway, great fight sequence. Goku, of course, wins. He Ronful stomps the entire army, and he gets his plane. They get their plane. And so the anything else about the fight sequence before we move on?
No, just beautifully animated, looks great, well choreographed. Just that kind of old school Dragon Ball martial arts oriented, not big key blast oriented fight scene.
Oh yeah, but great choreography. Um, so I'm trying to get the next guy's name. It is Hibis. So so next where they're loading up the plane, they're getting ready. Shin asks the third demon realm king to send a pin number or somebody to go pick up. Well, to send the pin number to Bulma, Vegeta, Piccolo, and whoever else is coming through. And so they can't really communicate that. They have to actually go and tell them. So the king asks I don't know what to call him, like like a
Attendant?
like an attendant, like a Care Bear attendant looking thing, like with the little wispy on the top, and like there's somebody in Dragon Ball who kind of looks like him, and I'm trying to remember who it is. It was in Dragon Ball, like the original, and I don't remember who it was, but so anyway, so Hybes is his name, and so there he's of course bothered because he's practicing his ballet. And he would like to practice his ballet. He doesn't want to be bothered by going and getting these other people. They also don't have a medium-sized plane to bring that many people through. So I think that's why they're probably only going to bring three, which would be what, Bulma, Vegeta, Piccolo, I think are the ones that we've seen in the intro and outro.
Yes, that's the ones that I think I remember seeing.
So do you think they're bringing a surprise fourth? And who would that be? Like maybe they've kind of kept it from, maybe they've, because it's not going to be Broly, obviously, because Broly has not happened yet in the timeline. I saw somebody online saying Broly's going to be the Broly's going to be coming, and I'm like, it's not even the right place in the timeline.
Yeah,
Like,
I think a lot of the fandom's confused about where this is in the timeline. And it's definitely before Battle of Gods.
well, it's definitely, yeah, because it definitely takes place right after Majin Buu.
Yeah.
So, do you think there will be like, and obviously some people are saying Gohan, and I'm like, no, I'm like, I don't think Gohan just had a movie. I don't think
They're
they're
not
bringing
going to use
Gohan.
they're not going to use him at all. They even gave us a line in the first episode as to why he's not involved. If they bring anybody, I could see it most likely being Krillin.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, I want the Krillmeister back, little Krillmeister, because he got a lot of screen time in that first episode. You know
He
what I mean?
did?
Like after, I mean, I get it. It was for the gag where everybody turned small, and he was just like, but wouldn't you love to see another romp of Kid Goku and Kid Krillin, just Krillmeister and hopefully the others coming through. But I think it'll just be the three, truth be told, Bulma, Vegeta, and Piccolo. But Krillin would be a great pick. I think that would be great. Anyway, so Hibis says, okay, I'm gonna give them the pin, or I'm gonna go pick them up, is what he said. I'm gonna go pick them up. It's not just giving them the pin. And then the king's like, so do you want to wait here until they get here? Goku's like, heck no, they can catch up. So of course we keep moving on without the other members of the, which is fine. I would like to spend a little bit of time with this party before we get oversaturated with Dragon Ball characters. I'm kind of enjoying I'm enjoying more than I thought I would. The two new characters, and then of course Shin and Goku. Shin's very forgettable. Like I don't even.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the link to the demon realm, but I think he's done little to nothing to truly advance the plot. You know what I mean? Like his spot could have been filled by Piccolo, because apparently Piccolo, although he doesn't know a lot about the demon realm, he's still from the demon realm. So even Piccolo could have filled the void of Shin at this point. Wouldn't that
They
be
just
fun?
That would be fun. Them bickering, Piccolo and Kakarot
It
bickering
would,
constantly.
because really we haven't had that kind of dynamic between Goku and Piccolo since like the Cell Saga, right? When Goku and Piccolo, like the driving episode, like the driver's license episode, and the drivers, and when they're training Gohan, like that's kind of the last time we've had some Goku Piccolo ish one-on-one time.
Yeah, it would be nice to see that again.
So anyway, Panzy says she's going, and so she of course loads up the plane with all of her luggage, which is way too much. And did you see where this is going? Like, did you see where this was going as soon as yeah. So the plane takes off and it struggles to stay afloat, and it crashes at the end of the episode. So this is where I'm going to knock the episode, where I'm like, we didn't even get an episode, and we're already now. Granted, the plane may not be wrecked and unflyable at this point. Maybe they empty some stuff off and then it's fine. But it's like, okay, so we've got the crashing gag like 3 times now at this point. Like we had the gag with the sky seed. We got the gag with, well, I guess the other plane was stolen, but like the whole like inability to travel is just been, it's kind of been overdone at this point with me. So I'm hoping the next episode is like, oh, they unload some stuff and then they move on, because I was kind of hoping that next episode we would get into maybe them getting into the first fight with the Tamagami, or something like that. Now I know there was a preview at the end of this, and I don't think we really saw that Tamagami in there, but I was kind of hoping we would kind of start to really hit the plot threads here, because we've got 3 Dragon Balls to get, and we might as well like see how strong these Tamagamis are that we have, or Tamagamis, right? Am I saying it right? Okay. We've been seeing them like a lot. So I don't know. I'm kind of hoping moving into the next episode, we get even further into the plot rather than we have our party. Let's start talking plot now. And let's start talking about the meat of all this.
Yeah, we've kind of got the gravy and the carrots. Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
That's right, baby. And that's kind of it. So, you have anything else to add, Mage? Anything else stick out to you that might be something, any predictions?
I'm looking forward to the interactions between Panzy and Bulma.
Oh.
I think they're going to use them as foils to each other, and I think that they're going to end up butting heads about issues of a mechanical nature. And
I didn't even think about that. That's actually really good.
I think that'll make for some good comedy.
Yeah, and that's what this show is comedy. So, yep. So yeah, so that kind of wraps it up. Let's do some marks. I'll go first this time, I guess, since I've been kind of making you go first as of late. Again, this is a serviceable episode. Great fight scene, but that first half was just like exposition more. So I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to downgrade a little bit from last week because I feel last week was more show. This week is more tell. I mean, yes, we got the Super Saiyan and we got the great fight scene that, and if we didn't have that, then obviously this would be a lower marking, but I think 7's a really good place to put this episode. I really want to get into the meat and the potatoes of what the adventure is about here. And so we're past 5 episodes in. It needs to start happening. Like I'm enjoying it. Absolutely. But I'm ready for more. Go ahead, Mage.
I'm going to give it an 8. The exposition dumping didn't bother me as much. I'm liking learning about the lore of the demon realm. There's some things that you can't express without dialogue. That fight scene was just great. I had the bit about him going Super Saiyan even for a little bit spoiled for me by a thumb this morning when I was scrolling YouTube, unfortunately, but that's the danger of scrolling YouTube. People are quicker than us at getting out reviews.
Yeah, that's why I saw it too yesterday, but I was like, yeah, it's the nature of the we knew, well, and if you watch the trailers, you knew he was eventually going to go Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
We've seen Vegeta and Goku, and I think even in the intro and outro, aren't they Super Saiyan
and outro,
somewhere in there?
They show him going Super Saiyan. We knew it was coming, just not this week for sure.
Yeah, and and that's why I try to make our thumbs not super spoilery, just so that when people are scrolling, but
it's the nature of the internet.
Yep.
I'm not trying to gripe. No, great fight, decent lore, 8 of 10.
All right. Well, what did you guys think down below? Dragon Ball Daima, episode 5, Panzy. We thought it was good, obviously. And so what did you think down below? Do you think that it is just retreading things that Dragon Ball has done in the past between Dragon Ball and GT? Or do you think that they're actually doing a lot better, or Toriyama's doing just taking old ideas that were not his and rewriting them and making them better like he did with Broly? Let us know down below and let us know what you thought of this episode. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you kind of maybe sort of heard of. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.